Hi, I'm Two-Siders and welcome back to Against the Storm. In case you are struggling completing sealed forests maps, today I will give you around 5 to 10 tips as to how to do so effectively. Sealed forests are special maps, usually completed at the end of the cycle, to progress the game further, and they have some special rules that we'll have to take into consideration to work out these strategies. To complete a sealed forest map, instead of the usual achieve the maximum amount of reputation points, you need to complete 4 sealed orders. And to find the seal, you have to cut into a glade, find these markers that will guide you to the seal, but it's not that difficult to find the seal itself. Besides the seal, there are 2 additional special rules this map possesses. One of them is to do with Hostility. Hostility still gets increased the same ways as on normal maps, except woodcutters don't add to Hostility, rather cutting out trees adds to it. And the third special rule is regarding plagues. In every storm season, you get a massive debuff for the duration of the storm. These are very reminiscent of forest mysteries, and they can be anything from villager speed reduction, destroying yields, and even death. To start at the very beginning, because of the special hostility rule, you should aim to cut out the fewest amount of trees possible. There are also 2 types of trees on this map: abyssal trees with the faces on them, and overgrown abyssal trees that look white and reddish. You should only cut out overgrown abyssal trees if you can, because they have far more charges, so you will get 10 times as many wood from cutting them out than simply cutting out abyssal trees. Now you're still only gonna cut out mostly abyssal trees, of course, because there's more of them and they are in the way. But when you are selecting trees to cut down, you should press the shift key to pinpoint select overgrown abyssal trees as much as you can. Furthermore, you should aim to reduce the amount of wood used for recipes such as planks and fuel for the hearth. One of the best building blueprints you can find on your initial rolls is the lumber mill, which is true even outside of sealed forest, but on sealed forest this is especially important. The Doctor is one of my favorite service buildings, but we gotta go with Carpenter because there's a high chance we don't get the lumber mill in the next fix. Even if you pick up a 2-star plank recipe, which requires 5 wood, it actually makes sense to pick up the lumber mill still, because it only requires 3 wood, so there is quite a massive jump between 2 and 3-star recipes for planks. You should aim to use efficient fuel for the hearth. Even though the map offers sea marrow, it's always a coin toss away from actually appearing or not, so you should probably pick up coal and oil production buildings anyways. Since making most of your wood and fuel is the name of the game, this makes beavers undoubtedly the best race for sealed maps. They get plus 10% double yield chances for cutting out wood, and their Hearthkeeper ability reduces fuel usage. Beavers are also really good at completing the sealed quests. These seal orders are always set, so you can formulate a strategy as to which option you'll be picking before you even set foot on a sealed map. And because many of these sealed orders are to do with glade events and trading, beavers help you out in this regard, because beavers extend the available trade offers by 1, and their engineering skill will help you produce more tools for glade events such as abandoned caches. This is just my opinion, but the second best race for me is humans. I personally find sealed maps to take quite a bit more time than regular maps, even if you are playing on a lower difficulty than what you are used to. So since endurance is the name of the game, humans and their farms come in handy. There are certain freak scenarios which can wipe out your settlements in sealed forests, so having a farm as a crutch can help out a great deal. Plague of Locusts also has a chance to destroy random resources, and that does not include farms. In case you're wondering about plagues, the first three in the first 3 years are always the same, and then it's random. We'll talk more about this soon. Since beavers are the unequivocal kings of this map, it makes sense to bring humans because they have quite a lot in common with the beavers. Makes a lot of sense to bring a small farm, especially if you have these two races, because grain can be used to produce the porridge for the humans, the flour for the biscuits and the pie, and also for ale. But more importantly, grain is a really good way to produce the oil that we talked about. One other thing that makes the humans really good, you can bring delivery line perks to the map with you, and incense is the best service item at the time of making this video, because the most amount of species have religion as a service, and also the most amount of glade events can use incense as an item option to complete them. Now, this is just another opinion of mine. I noticed that hostility increases more on a sealed map than on a regular map. Cutting out trees seems to increase it more than just, the woodcutters that you normally have increased the hostility. So it also makes sense to bring foxes who don't get a resolve debuff for the increased hostility levels, who can work on glade events for the sealed orders to complete them faster, and they also have religion. Now, whilst it's true, you cannot pick the exact races you want to take with you, but if you still have some time in the cycle, I would say that if you don't get, for instance, beavers, maybe just complete a short little settlement and then reattempt the seal, so maybe you get beavers as an option. When it comes to the increased hostility from cutting out trees, it makes sense to pick up cornerstones that reduce hostility. Look at this. We got minus 500 to hostility because of various stuff. Almost minus 300 because of protected trade alone. A few of these cornerstones have to do with trading, extra hearths, and doing glade events. So again, it makes sense to bring beavers and foxes with you if you can. One of the more disgusting plagues that can occur and completely ruin your settlement is Plague of Mysteries, which will reduce the amount of hostility levels that need to occur before a certain forest mystery happens. So for instance, in a recent game that I had, I kept a really good control over my hostility level, because at hostility level 5, my villagers would have died because I didn't offer them services. Plague of Mysteries happened, and now suddenly villagers are dying at hostility level 2, but either way, keep a good controller over your hostility. On this map, you also have a special blueprint for a beacon tower that can offer you buffs, which are limited. You can buff your fertile soil production, so another reason to bring humans, boost global production speeds, and this is how I save my villagers. Decrease the hostility by 1 level to get out of a sticky situation. Try to memorize all of these options and keep in mind your trump card to not lose the game instantly. Just because you complete these maps by completing the sealed orders instead of getting the max amount of reputation, you still have to play like a normal map and prevent your villagers from leaving and increasing the impatience. There's something to be said about frogs, because humans, beavers and frogs are highly resilient, they have a higher resolve level, and the human hearthkeeper ability reduces impatience generation, something else to consider. Obviously, lizards and harpies have their own buffs, and their own upsides. You should consider everything as it unfolds, but following the strategy that I laid out for you will perhaps ease your pain a little bit. Check out the strategy section on Hooded Horse's Sealed Forest page for various small tips that I did not mention in this video. This has been Two-Siders. Like the video if it was useful, and subscribe for more Against the Storm content. Let us know your Sealed Forest tips in the comment section below. Take care now.